Biker slapped a black woman, not knowing she was a Marine. What happened next shocked the whole bar. Before dive and please subscribe to channel. They called her girl like she was nothing. They told her to get out of the bar before something bad happened. They thought she was weak, alone, and easy prey. But the moment a tattooed biker raised his hand to strike her face, what happened next left every man in that room begging for mercy. If you're new here, hit subscribe right now, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Yo, I told you this ain't your kind of place, the man growled, voice thick with smoke and cheap whiskey. His name, or at least the one sewn across his leather vest, was Bull Kane. He was broad, scar-faced, with jagged teeth capped in gold. A snake tattoo curled up his neck and disappeared beneath his jawline. Around him, a half-dozen men sat on stools, their leather vests marked with a patch of their outlaw club, Blood Fangs. Skulls with dripping fangs snarled from their backs. Their turf, their bar, their rules. And at the bar, gripping a plain glass of club soda, stood a young black woman named Naomi Cross. Her jeans were faded, snug at the knees. Her dark gray t-shirt clung to her frame, showing the lean strength of someone who trained hard but never bragged about it. Her hair was tied back in a low braid. She looked like she was stopping for a quiet drink on a long drive. Nobody would have guessed what she had lived through. But this wasn't just a woman out for a drink. In another life, in another uniform, she was Gunnery Sergeant Naomi Cross, U.S. Marine Corps, decorated for valor in Iraq, survivor of hand-to-hand combat that most men never walked away from. Tonight, she wore no medals, no insignia, just jeans, boots, and silence. Bull slammed his palm on the counter. I said, he barked, this ain't for you. Go drink somewhere else. Or better yet, start cleaning the floors. The men behind him laughed. Cruel, loud, empty. Naomi's eyes shifted briefly to the mirror behind the bar. Her expression was unreadable. No fear, no trembling, just patience, cold as steel. Her voice, when it came, was calm. I'm just having a drink. Another biker, Skinny Joe, wiry with yellow teeth and a dagger tattoo under his eye, leaned in. Come on, Bull. She's lost. Maybe she needs directions to the kitchen. The men roared. Bull grinned, silver tooth glinting. Or the alley out back. The bartender, an older man named Ray Dobbs, kept his eyes down, polishing glasses like the conversation wasn't happening. The other customers looked away. No help was coming. Naomi's hand tightened slightly on her glass. Her training echoed in her mind. Control. Wait. Strike when ready. Bull stepped closer, the stink of whiskey rolling off him. You making everyone uncomfortable, he said. Why don't you smile? Show some respect. Naomi didn't answer. Bull snapped his fingers in front of her face like she was a dog. Hey, I'm talking to you. The room fell silent, leather shifting as men leaned forward. Two of them, Tank and Razor, moved to block the exits. Bull leaned so close his beard brushed her cheek. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue. Naomi's voice came low, steady. Move your hand. Bull blinked. What? Move. Your hand. The laughter faltered. Bull smirked. Or what? You gonna call your boyfriend? Sweetheart, with a law out here. He raised his hand, ready to slap. Naomi's body reacted before thought. Her hand shot up, catching his wrist midair. His grin evaporated. With one brutal twist, she bent his wrist sideways, cartilage popping like a branch snapping. His howl cut through the air. In a single move, she slammed his arm against the bar, pinning it down. Glass shattered. Bull crumpled to his knees, choking on pain. Sit, Naomi commanded. And he did. Skinny Joe lunged next. Naomi's boot hooked his ankle, yanking him down. His face hit the wood floor with a crack. Tank charged, swinging wild. Naomi ducked, locked his elbow, and drove it hard into the counter until he screamed. In less than 5 seconds, 3 bikers were down. The rest froze, their laughter gone. Naomi stood tall, shoulders squared. Her voice was ice. Anybody else? Nobody moved. At the end of the bar, a trucker named Clint Harris raised his phone, red light blinking. He whispered under his breath, "Lord have mercy." Bull, sweating and shaking, spat. You're dead. You don't know who we are." Naomi leaned close, her whisper sharp as a knife. "And you don't know who I am." She released his wrist. He yanked it back, gasping. Naomi raised her voice, clear for all to hear. "Gunnery Sergeant Naomi Cross, U.S. Marine Corps." The room rippled with murmurs. The bartender looked up for the first time, jaw hanging. "You just tried to slap the wrong woman." Phones rose higher. The blood fangs shifted nervously. "Pick him up," Naomi said, jerking her chin at Skinny Joe. "He's done." They hesitated. No one dared move. Naomi wiped her hands on a napkin like she'd brushed off dust, then turned back to the bar. "Another club soda, please." Ray poured with trembling hands. But outside, the night roared with fresh engines. The floor shook. The door slammed open. Cold air and cigarette smoke flooded in as Brick Dalton, the Blood Fangs chapter president, stomped inside with 10 more bikers. His beard was braided, his fists wrapped in steel rings. He scanned the wreckage, Bull clutching his wrist, Tank groaning, Joe on the floor. His glare found Naomi. "You," he growled. "You did this." Naomi didn't flinch. "They tried to hit me. I defended myself." Brick sneered. "Marine or not, you don't walk out of here. Try me." Naomi said. His roar shook the bottles. "Grab her." Naomi's voice cracked through the chaos. "United States Marine Corps. Step back." For a breath, the room froze. But pride blinded Brick. He charged. Naomi sidestepped, grabbed his arm, and hurled him into the bar. Wood splintered. 2 more men lunged. She swept one's legs and crushed the other with an elbow to the ribs. The room exploded into a storm. Chains swung. Bottles shattered. Boots thundered. Naomi moved like water. Every strike precise. Every block a drill perfected through years of war. She spun, ducked, slammed, twisted. One man's chain became his leash as she yanked him down. Another's bottle slipped from his grip as she broke his wrist clean. Phones caught it all. Comments poured in. "She's a Marine. She's dismantling them." Respect. By the end, the blood fangs lay scattered, groaning and broken. Their patches, once symbols of fear, now dragged through spilled beer and glass. Naomi stood tall, braids still neat, shirt barely rumpled. Brick coughed blood, glaring up at her. "We'll find you," he rasped. Naomi crouched, meeting his eyes. "You already did. And you lost." Sirens wailed in the distance. Panic spread. Some bikers scrambled for the exit. Others froze, hands raised. The bartender, voice shaking, said, "I'm calling the cops." Naomi nodded. "Do it." Clint, the trucker, lowered his phone. "Ma'am," he said softly, "I don't know who you are, but God bless you." Naomi's eyes hardened. "Next time, don't just watch." Police stormed in, weapons drawn, eyes wide at the chaos. "Ma'am, are you hurt?" one officer asked. "I'm fine," Naomi said, slipping on her jacket. She glanced at the bikers moaning on the floor. They just learned something the hard way. The officer frowned. "What's that?" Naomi walked toward the door, boots crunching glass. She didn't look back. That respect isn't given. It's demanded. She pushed the door open, stepping into the night. If you felt this story, hit subscribe right now and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more powerful stories like this one.